Hey everyone, just a quick stream to update you on the markets today. Mostly looking at DeFi today, and also want to look at liquidity and Bitcoin because there seems to be some pretty bullish action on the liquidity front. Even capital wars are turning bullish, doing some liquidity bull posting, which is nice to see. A short one from them today, just entitled "Don't Worry, Be Happy." Just 2 paragraphs, just saying basically asset markets are rising and everybody needs to cheer the fuck up. Investors are too downbeat. Often the markets know best. Yeah, I've seen some bearish sentiment, not across the board, but yeah, I've seen some complaints about, I guess, Bitcoin PA has been frustrating, but it looks kind of bullish to me in a grindy kind of way. Just quickly, let's look at these tweets. 3 billion USDT in just 1 week minted at Tether Treasury. And then look on chain, just tracking when that went. A lot of it to Crack and OKX, Coinbase, and Binance, I guess, as you would expect. And then basically this was interesting too, just because of the current TRX pump, like one of the strongest charts out there. And I think this is part of the reason. 33 billion minted by Tether in USDT this year on Tron and Ethereum, but most of it on Tron, 19 million on TRX and 14 million on ETH. So to me, that's significant. I mean, if you think about actual real world use cases for crypto, where we've had significant impact in large swaths of, the global south and in Asia, whereas crypto actually made an impact, it's stablecoins, and most of it's happening on Tron. Like a lot more of it is happening on Tron than on ETH. So say what you want about Justin Sun. The dude is a bit of a clown. He's a grifter. He's a scammer. But this thing is grafting. And interestingly, if you look at the Ethereum market cap, sure, ETH has a bunch of, good tech, most of which is yet to prove itself as actually useful. $316 billion market cap. Tron with literally 5% of that, or less, like 4%. To me, that looks ripe for repricing, which is kind of what we're seeing at the moment. Yeah, and then just some positive Bitcoin flows, like squeaking higher every day, nothing major, no fireworks, but since the 15th, we've been positive every day. 88 yesterday, it's nothing major, but something. And then the others chart is interesting to me. Just this is M2 global liquidity at the bottom. We're at new highs here. This was our glass ceiling for a long time, set in March of 22. And then we bottomed. Basically, this is the 200 daily moving average. This is your bull bear pivot essentially for shitcoins. So others is small cap, not small cap, but anything out of the top 10 alts basically. And you can see we bottomed here after FTX blew up, 40% below this daily moving average, roughly. What were we at? 112 billion there, and the bottom came at like 69. Yeah, and it made this little oversold sub 30 dent in the RSI. Another big one here. This is also a significant bottom before the Bitcoin bull run started in June of last year. And we've just smashed away 45% of the 200 DMA. So, this looks like another kind of long-term or at least medium-term bottom. I think we're at least going up here before we get any significant pullback. Maybe we consolidate a bit at that point. It depends on liquidity. We could just keep pumping because this is basically, when we get up here, it's probably going to be October time, which could be peak liquidity pre-election. So some good hopium here. We're basically 25% above this wick already. Selective alts have been doing really well. A lot of DeFi 1.0 stuff I've been longing, doing quite well on that. So yeah, moving on. This is this is the star of the show at the moment. It's AAVE. and this has played out really nicely. Picked this up last month, this 10-20 MA cross on the monthly, which just compressed and compressed. And this is a log chart, and there was a nice, quite clean log downtrend here that we challenged, and I said it might be explosive when we move through that, and it kind of has been. So, you know, this monthly bottomed at $75, and we're basically almost 2x from there in 1 month for, you know, basically a DeFi protocol. That's pretty good going. It's not a small cap shitcoin. So yeah, I think this is the start of a long-term big run into next year. Wherever we top, that's, you know, wherever the cycle tops, that's where this thing will probably top. Let's see. But I think we're going to new highs on AAVE, which will take us beyond $700. So that's something to look forward to. It's beautiful. RSI strength has never really come below 50 during the whole life of this protocol. So it's been resilient. That's what you need. I think we're going to see, hopefully, some TradFi cash flowing into this thing. Only like 1.7 bill market cap, I think, at a, you know, just off the top of my head. But this could be, you know, 1.7 bill, that could be 100 bill easily if we get TradFi money coming into this thing. So yeah, here's hoping. And then maybe we should look at Bitcoin quickly, because it's Bitcoin. Let's move that up. And this is still doing what I thought it would do when I picked this up on the 12th of August, when we rejected off the 200 daily moving average. It's just, it's trying to reclaim. It's an important MA. Here it took a month back before the whole bull run kicked off. Here it took 8 days, I think, back in July. And you can see how, you know, we lost it, tapped it. Just this rounding bottom consolidation pattern, jabbing away at this MA until we finally reclaim it and then go back to the top of the trend line. And I'm just going to assume the same thing is going to happen here. And since the 12th, that's exactly what's been happening. We managed to flip this into support. This level here at 57,250, I think, is the core of the support. Tested it solidly on this wick on the 15th. Everybody was kind of freaking out, but held up nicely. And we've got a chunky, decent daily candle today. We've just got above 60 again. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just trying to reclaim this 200-day MA, and when we do, we can make our way back up here, I think. There's a big volume node here, which is basically your final boss. This point of control here, it's 67,800 roughly. And then we've got to beat the trend line, make new highs. So probably quite a lot of sell orders to get through up here. That's looking pretty good as of today. We haven't revisited this level, which is exactly what we need to see. I think if this fails and we come back down here, you know, none of these lower lows have held. Made a new low here, didn't hold. A new low here, didn't hold. So I wouldn't expect this to hold. And if we come back down and lose this level, we're definitely coming down here, and that's going to make this chart just look hideously ugly. It's not going to look like we're in a bull market, because we won't be. So yeah, this needs to hold, and so far it is. So I'm pretty bullish, actually. Definitely leading bullish, 70-30, that we're going straight back up here. Maybe not straight back, but I think into month end, we've got a good chance with liquidity coming back. If I look at that others chart again, you can see this was our glass ceiling for M2 global money supply, set back in April 22. We've been stuck underneath it. The Fed's been running tight, but now People's Bank of China is easing, Fed's loosening up, fears of recession going away. The economy is not looking too bad in the States. We had that good retail sales report, I think last week. So yeah, that is looking good. And DXY is coming down. That's adding to liquidity. Let's have a quick look at DXY. 563 asked for that. Phantom Injective, interesting. take a look at that. Let's just check out DXY. Massive dump on DXY. Let's just draw this again. Yeah, we're at new highs, and you can see that these highs basically correspond with this big dump. Now, this hasn't really played out on Bitcoin yet, but I think it's coming. And if we look at gold, new price and scale, you can see how gold has made new highs into this dump. And I think Bitcoin is just going to lag this by, I don't know, by a month maybe potentially not even that long, but it could be a month or 2 months. That's typically what you see, even 3 months sometimes. Gold pumps and then Bitcoin pumps. But as a caveat to that, we're not in a recession, which often you are when you see big gold pumps. There's some geopolitical shock or there's a big deflationary bust. We're seeing rates come down in anticipation of a rate cut, but we're not in a deflationary bust. We're not in a recession. So I think Bitcoin could sniff this out, this additional liquidity, and move into month end. I don't know. That's my base case at the moment. This is very oversold right here. You can see over here we reversed. Let's just get gold out of there. You can see this oversold level on DXY. So we could see a reversal here. We might see a bit of a DXY pump. Probably going to take some profit later tonight on my longs that have been doing well. But I think on the weekly, this thing's just going to keep coming down. What is that? 200 weekly MA. That's not helpful. Yeah, so, 2020 cycle, we came all the way down to 89 from 102. We're at 102 now. Yeah, if we come down here, we're going to see some fireworks. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I have no idea where this is going to go, but I think we will bounce quite soon, and then just make a lower high and keep going. That's what I expect, which will be good. That's what we want to see. Oh yeah, and then just interestingly on Bitcoin, how clean the levels have been. If you do, let's just zoom in on this. Just delete these boxes for now. Just clean this up a bit. If you do a fib retracement from this big low to where we retrace to, you can see how this was basically the 0.5 fib. Perfect 50% retracement. It's a log chart. Perfect 50% retracement. And yeah, it's quite clean. This kind of lined up with the 618. You can see how this 50% level was stuck underneath it, pumped through it, tested the support, just held up beautifully. And then this 382 level, this has all been very clean. How we've been stuck there. Now we're pushing up against the point of control. Nice strong PA today. Could challenge this 62,600 high quite soon. Maybe tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that's others. You can see how these new highs in liquidity are maybe starting to make an appearance with these DeFi pumps that we're seeing, which is super cool to have protocols with a bit of price history to chart for me. Just after all this meme stuff that, all the charts are like a day old or a week old, like, can't infer much from that level of price history. Yeah, so today we put Convex in the newsletter. This is Hexton's idea, actually. So if it doesn't pump, you can blame him. It actually looks pretty good. So obviously related to curve, Convex with my left curve, more on level of DeFi understanding. Convex is basically a way to a protocol that gives you strategies to maximize your CRV yield. So if curve is pumping, which it kind of is, then it makes sense for this thing to follow. I think this token is a reward token for liquidity provision on Convex. But apparently emissions are really low or even non-existent. So in that sense, it's not gonna create sell pressure, is my understanding. 563 could tell you more about that. But yeah, I think this thing is going up basically. We've got a nice strong uptrend here on the RSI. You can see how it's been stuck in this downtrend channel since way back, since fucking July 22. Max Pain, just chop. I guess some nice pumps along the way. What is this, like a 240 to, that's a 3x. It's a nice pump, but mostly down. But you can see how the run-ups have gotten more violent since mid-June. This is like a hard pump. This is around the time of the big curve liquidation, and I think we're due for another one. We're going to print like a W bottom here is what I'm betting on. So if we zoom in a bit, this is a level here at $3, and this is the 200-day, which is at like 315. So this is what you kind of need to clear to get back to the top of the trend line. Here we had this little fake out. I suspect we will go up and take the liquidity at these highs over here. Just mark them out. And then maybe pull back from there. Let's see what happens. But you can see on the daily that RSI has been pumping up to this 83 level and reversing from there. So I would expect us to head back up to that kind of a level. And then we'll just have to see how high that takes us price-wise. But with this nice RSI uptrend and this nice bottoming structure over here, I think up is where we're headed. I don't know if we pull back first. Let's see. It's been a nice, decent, chunky daily candle today. Yeah. Let's see what happens. And then Tron, like, say what you want about Justin Sun. That's a pretty dope chart. So it's like a fractal cup and handle within a cup and handle. Here's your big cup and your handle. Here's your small cup and your handle. Zoom in on the daily. Turn on this MA cross. You can see this thing's worked quite well. Gave you a nice short here. Give you a little long here. Bigger long here from 11.5 cents all the way up to 13.6. And it's just triggered again, which is when I longed it. Stupidly closed over here, and it just pumped straight through. I wasn't expecting that, but I've still got a position. I opened another position today on this pullback because if you zoom out to the weekly, these highs, there's no coin that I'm aware of that has broken its last cycle highs, which on TRX are at 18 cents. And this weekly is currently at a place which would be, if it closed today, this would be the highest weekly close ever for Tron. So yeah, I mean, I don't know the technical ins and outs, but apparently this thing is the new home of WBTC. It was a BitGo that had it before, and they've lost it. It's going to Tron. It's going to be custodied in Hong Kong. $19 billion so far this year minted on Tron rails. This thing's undervalued. It just is. I don't care what you say about the founder. Couldn't give a rat's ass who the founder is. It's just a useful protocol. People are using it for remittances all over the world in size, like a lot of people. So this thing's going higher, and I'm going to long it all the way. Yeah, this is the monthly. Nice cross over there that doesn't look like it's going to roll over anytime soon. Yeah, so that's Tron. And then I long this again today. I tried to long it earlier and it was a fail. That was right before this dump, which was lined up with the big Bitcoin dump. But I like this weekly chart. Let's look at that because it's pretty. You can see this beautiful uptrend on RSI, just making higher highs all the way, and I think there's another run left in it. And then you have correlated uptrend for price over here, making higher highs. And you have these little downtrends that pump, the price pumps out of, going back all the way to January 23. Another one here, downtrend pumped out of it. Another one here, downtrend didn't quite pump, but we grinded up and then pumped once we claimed the point of control. And this one here has just been invalidated. We're pushing up against the point of control here. So, this is a bit of resistance, but I suspect this will relent maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then maybe sometime this week. I would like to see the weekly close above this red line. But hey, if it closes here, I'm fine with that too, because this is a big ass bullish weekly candle, regardless. So I think this keeps going. And this is a decent target. This is like $133, 2.5x, 2.3x from here, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is not that low for RSI to reverse, but it lines up. You could probably make a trend line here as well. There you go. It all makes sense. Yeah, I think we're going up here. And I'm going to ride this all the way if we are. Looking forward to it. So yeah, this is my DeFi watch list here. Mostly DeFi 1.0 stuff. Green as fuck. Look at it. AAVE, 10% again today. Comp 7.5. Curve 4. I'm long curve as well. Let's look at that quickly. So you had this big ass bull div. A few people were watching. It's very clear on the 3-day. Made low here. Price made low. Big strength, huge wick. This is the liquidation candle for what's his face, the Russian guy who bought a house that was too big for his bank account, got liquidated. That's why I have this big ass volume node here. Broke the downtrend, and I thought we would pull back. There was my little purple box for the pullback. Didn't quite get into that deep of a pullback. But yeah, I think we're going up from here. And this is a long-term downtrend. This is, okay, not that long, but it's, 5 months? It's long enough. And this thing has been down only since January 22. And Hickson tells me a lot of people are locking up the CRV in this weird 4-year contract. It sounds insane, but apparently people are doing it, and they're doing it in size. So, yeah, I think we're going up. Next level to watch is going to be like 42 to 48, around there. Which is a nice run from here already. But, yeah, let's see. It'd be nice to see us up here. Be some liquidity resting up here. I mean, there's so much volume here. There's so much liquidity taken at these lows. Unless you have a bear market in majors, I don't think we're going back down here. It's not going to happen. RSI is going back up here, and you can see quite a clear level for the highs around 76. Probably going back up there again. So yeah, another good DeFi long. I'm going to stay long this thing until price tells me otherwise. Yeah, and then Synthetics is doing a similar thing. Very similar charts. Going back to May, not as long as the downtrend on curve, but yeah, this looks good too. I'm not really a fan of this protocol. I've tried to use it before. It drives me nuts. It's like been the most unusable piece of shit. Maybe it's better now, but Ken Warwick has apparently done quite well out of it. Yeah, so this looks good. If this daily candle closes like this through the downtrend, it's nice and beefy. You can see it got rejected here. Whenever you see this kind of PA, where you have this ugly rejection that looks super bearish, and then the next day price doesn't give a fuck and just tries again, that's very bullish. Because after this sort of a toppy candle, you should see a downtrend. When you don't see that, then you can safely assume that market makers want to send this thing higher. So yeah, I'm looking at this level next, which is like 190 area to $2. And then after that, 280 is where you have the point of control. Just another DeFi 1.0 protocol that's basically making the most of the rotation game. Can't really do that, it's too ugly. Yeah, so SNX look good too. I'm long this as well. Super easy, just finding, bullish DeFi 1.0 charts and kind of waiting for them to do what the other ones are doing. I don't know how long that'll work for, but as long as it does, I'm going to do it. So yeah, this is also an interesting chart to me. So this is YFI. I don't even know if people still use this thing. This is like a massive hit in DeFi summer, obviously. Andre Cronier's baby, with a fair launch, pumped massively. It's down bad at like 5K. The highs are like enormous. So where are they? Highs are at 90, almost 100K. Can we get back up there? I have no idea. But I'd be happy to long this thing and have it break the range and come up here to like 17, 20K would be nice. There's 24K. Let's see what happens. So you've got this big falling wedge here. Let's just zoom in again. Get a proper look at this thing. So yeah, it's been range bound since like 22nd of August, like since late August 22. Peak bear market, FTX dump. Just ranging basically. There's a rough mid-range here. With these little downtrends similar to compound, you have these little downtrends and then you pump out of them. This is a massive pump that just got sold straight back down into the range. And this has made this nice falling wedge pattern, which looks kind of bullish to me. These typically have nice breakouts. This wasn't quite a wedge, but it had a nice breakout. This looks like a better wedge, which deviated out of the range. RSI has bottomed at this level. It's the weekly chart. This has been very clean bottoming level. Just deviated down to 34, where previously we were reversing at like 36. So yeah, liquidity again, I think taken at the lows. Mid-range next is what I would look for, which is at 7,000. And then the range highs at like 10,000. We've got to get past this level. That's kind of a biggie. But what I'll do is just wait to see how big the weekly candles are that come out of, if and when this thing breaks out. If it does it violently, you can gauge how much buyer interest is there. Are we going to get half of the money that's made on AAVE rotates into this thing? Money made on compound rotates into this thing. If we do, the market cap's not that big, could get like a huge pump. So yeah, I'll just wait and see what happens. I'm not long it yet. I want to see what happens when we get to this trend line, but I'm feeling kind of quietly bullish. Just seems like the next logical rotation. Curve chart we looked at. Capital wars we looked at. This was just Bitcoin long shorts. Is kind of coming down. You can see as price moves up, this ratio is coming down. Once again, I want to see this come down to ideally even below here. So this is the trend line. I can't draw on this. This is the consolidation trend line up here. That touched the trend line, came all the way down to 1.2. If we go back up here and this comes all the way down to 1, I think that's a reset we need. Like we had here, we came to beyond range highs actually. And this thing came all the way down to 1. Here again, we were down at sub 1 when we started the bull market here in October. So yeah, I reckon that's what we need to see again. And it looks promising. We're making these lower highs here. And price has somewhere to go to get back up to, it'll be roughly at 69K, 68K when we get to that trend line. And then we still really need to take the highs as well. So that could provide more juice for this to come lower. I think people will de-risk because they're just tired. It's also tiring having price go to the highs and then just sell off, go to the highs, sell off violently. Like, this is the kind of PA that will make people de-risk when they get to the highs because they're shit scared this is going to fucking happen again, which will be good. People will de-risk, they'll open shorts, they'll hedge shorts, they'll close longs. This ratio will come down to sub 1, which is what you need. Cool, and then this is per 563. I don't have a per bag anymore. I had one, but this looks good. I might grab, because I've got some stables on Hyperliquid. And per gives you points, I believe, if you hold spot per. For the Hyperliquid airdrop that will come with the TGE, I guess, when they finally release a token. So yeah, we have this RSI downtrend that's been smashed, price pumping through. When I'm done here, I'm going to go open a long, or at least buy some spot rather than open a long. You can't long this thing on perps that I'm aware of. But yeah, it's above the VWAP. Looks good. Way above the point of control. This is a beautiful Adam and Eve bottom, which you could draw on here. Here's your Eve. It's the rounding bottom. And your Adam is the pointy triangle guy. A very textbook bottoming pattern. Looks really good. Downtrend broken. RSI is probably going to go back to this sort of level and potentially higher because this is not exactly overbought. So this is still sub 70. So if we get a proper run, this is log chart. No. Yeah, I don't know. I would look to take the highs first. This is a bit of a level here, but I think the highs will have the most liquidity. So I'll just mark that off. Probably pump beyond the highs and then maybe retrace back down to 20 cents. I don't know. It depends how bullish the market is when it happens. But yeah, I would, look for this to go at least to 22, probably higher. Yeah, there's like a nice, can't really call that a cleanup trend, but yeah, I would expect to see this run higher towards the 30 area. If we can take these highs, retest, let's see. Basically, RSI will be your guide. Depending on how bullish the PA is, if we get giant weekly candles, then we can definitely make new highs on RSI. But if we stick with this kind of anemic price action, then look for it to reverse over here where it's reversed here and reversed here. Yeah. Cool. I think that's everything. Unless somebody wants to look at FTM, Bitcoin pumping right now. Jedi's checking in to tell me that Bitcoin is pumping. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it is pumping. Nice steady candle. See here again, you have this shitty rejection candle yesterday. When you see the next daily candle do the opposites, that is a bullish sign, my friends. And the 200 DMA is up here at 63. I think we'll tap that again soon. Maybe consolidate right underneath it. You see we have these two ugly tweezer top candles here, which would normally give you a downtrend. We've only had one here. And, maybe this sells off before daily close. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think so. It looks kind of strong. And look how liquidity is making another high today. We've had, $3 billion in a week printed at Tether Treasury. We're going to see that manifest in Bitcoin, I think. We kind of need to. We need Bitcoin to make new highs for everything else to properly pump. So this looks good. FTM and Injective. FTM, I still have PTSD from trying to make money out of that thing and failing miserably. waiting for the big special upgrade. I can't remember what it's called now. You can see all my bull-tarded drawings that never came to fruition here. So let's just delete that shot and cast these bad memories out of our minds. So we've had this long-ass downtrend here that's just been broken today. That looks promising. RSI broke the downtrend as well. I mean, this is pretty left curve TA, but it also kind of works, you know, when you've been experiencing max pain for the longest time since March, as when this topped the last time. This is what you want to see. Some strength. RSI is just strength, that's all it is. 200 days up here at 63. I would look for that to be sort of the next port of call. Let's just turn on the VPVR. Yeah, you can see there's a big volume node up here. Still got one to get through here, but with this downtrend having been so long, I think we will go through it. Volume is off. Got some volume here. Yeah, volume looks decent. It's kind of ramping up a little bit. Let's see. Good Lord. Okay, let's look at Injective. I actually still have a bag of Injective, which probably isn't worth much anymore. But it's at 20 bucks. This thing has been down only forever. Like, this was a nice structure. This is a pretty cool bull flag. I was super bullish up here. Yeah, these two coins have some PTSD. This thing has some ways to go. I don't know what's happening fundamentally with this thing. We had all these blockchains like Sei Injective, which was supposed to be the hot new, fast new kids on the block. That hasn't really panned out into anything. Sui and Aptos are two others. Sui obviously got a KOL pump the last couple of weeks. I don't know how that ended. Probably not well. Didn't really take any interest in that shit. So yeah, I want to see this downtrend break to be bullish on Injective. And I'd like to be, because like I say, I've got a stake back. Just done nothing forever. But yeah, maybe we break up. I don't want to say we will, because yeah, PTSD. Cool, guys. I'm going to leave it there. That's a good 40 minutes, and I'll see you all tomorrow.